Dr. Paramjeet Singh. I am a psychiatrist practicing at Delhi Mind Clinic. Today I am here to talk to all of you about the issue of suicide. Suicide in the most literal or simple terms means the act of ending one's own life or taking one's own life. However, if looked from a broader lens or little more closely, it may mean lots of things. It may mean loss of hope that it will ever get better or it can ever get better. It means that the person finds his existence or the life that has gone by worthless and believes that succumbing to death is a relief and easier than his existence. It also means a sense of belief that nothing can help him, no one will help him, and his condition cannot be helped any longer. It's a grave thing to believe. At the end of the cycle of such beliefs, the person may believe that yes, life is better ended, and he may commit and end up doing this act. Let's look at some facts and figures. The National Crime Records Bureau, the NCRB, in 2019 tells me that 1,40,000 individuals in India alone, succumbed to suicide and ended their life owing to the same. When looked at from the perspective that a larger number of these people were the youth, the future of the country, the number attains even more significance. Lots and lots of people are losing lives and probably will lose life. The question before all of us is, can we do something about this? Can we intervene? Can we identify people with high-risk suicidal behaviors around us so that we can provide the requisite help? Yes, scientifically it is possible to identify people at high risk of suicide. Scientific data and research have provided us some robust criteria or evidences of factor which can be looked ahead and persons at risk of suicide can be identified. Most robust or strong predictors of a suicidal behavior is recent suicidal behaviors. Any suicidal behavior, however minor or major, cannot be dismissed. लोग कहते हैं कि जी अगर करना होता तो एक ही बार में कर लेते. I think this is untrue. People who may commit low lethality, intentionality attempts which are less likely to be lethal or may not end life, are likely to commit recent attempts in the future which may be fatal by themselves. The second important factor that I want to talk about is expressed suicidal ideation. People saying or conveying by one or the other means that I want to end my life. It may be just as a passing phrase, it may be in form of a letter, it may be in form of a social media post, whatsoever. So yes, any intent or idea about suicide communicated, expressed in any manner is a strong predictor and must be looked at very seriously. These things cannot be or should not be left aside as half joke or possibly the person is bluffing or just saying it in his emotional flow. In emotional flow or whatever, a mention of suicidal ideation must be looked at very, very seriously. Procuring means of suicide or high risk behavior. Hanging is one of the most common modes of suicide in India, so is poisoning of insecticides. So a person procuring a rope, insecticide, probable blades, or such a thing which can possibly lead to self-harm. If such a behavior is seen, a red alarm must be raised and the concerned persons must be informed. Now, we see someone doing something in our workplace, our school, our offices, anywhere. We think, who am I to intervene? No, everyone will have to join their forces together and intervene and inform the right person in the chain to prevent such an attempt. Presence of mental illness, specifically severe depressions, bipolars, schizophrenia. Mental illness is a robust risk factor of suicide, and worsening of mental illness and without treatment may lead to suicide. So everyone and anyone with mental illness must be looked at with compassion, with empathy, and must be held to the right portal of health, which may be a psychiatrist or a clinical psychologist. Substance use disorders. Persons who use alcohol, weed, LSD, and many other substances are much more at risk of losing their lives out of suicide than others. So yes, this is a risk factor that needs to be kept in mind, and people with substance use and other risk factors, the risk amplifies multiple times. Another risk factor is social isolation. Yes, the pandemic, the COVID times have amplified it even further. People who start to get preference of solitude, do not talk much, do not involve themselves even in the family, do not talk in the social media. So persons who develop social isolation are more prone to such an act of self-harm. So maybe we can all look around us, try to involve people who are isolated and talk to them about their problems and help them. Another risk factor is a recent stressful event around us. A negative, catastrophic event around us is likely to precipitate suicidal ideation, and in persons who are on the verge of clinical depression or suicidal behavior, it may actually give that push which none of us wants. Recent events like loss of a loved one, financial losses, emotional traumas. In India, one of the biggest group of suicidal persons are the farmers. So the economic hardships, the financial hardships are a strong risk factor here. We must look for them. Persons who talk of certain specific thoughts like hopelessness, guilt, sin are more prone to actually enacting an attempt. Persons with low social support, persons who have less social support, have less people with them who are emotionally connected or talk to them. So yes, we must all look within our social fabric, find persons with lesser social support, go closer to them, lend them a helping hand, and bring them into the social fabric again. A grave medical illness or a recent diagnosis or a chronic illness like cancers, pain syndromes, etc. also bring forward the risk of suicide in these populations. Other risk factors are also important, but in a nutshell, I wanted to talk about these because I believe and the science believes that these are more robust in predicting suicidal behaviors. Can we keep them in our mind and look forward to persons with any of such or a combination of such, and be on the lookout or inform the right persons ahead? What do all of you think? As a practicing psychiatrist and as a human being myself, I would like to lend all the help possible to all these people. Suppose we identify a person who we believe is suffering from mental illness or a probable high risk of suicide. What do we do then? How do we approach the person? Many people ask me this. What I believe is, first response should be a human response. Whenever we see someone in distress, we obviously reach out, hold on to themselves, talk to them, tell them that we are there, we are likely to be there, ask them if we can help in any way. Yes, in many circumstances, a simple hand holding or the belief that someone is there for me can avert such a negative incident to occur. However, if we believe that the person needs help, alerting the persons near him, his family, his friends, the employer, the colleagues will help. With such a behavior, persons must be taken to a nearby mental health facility, a psychiatrist, a clinical psychologist who will do a requisite assessment in detail and help the person. Please remember, help is possible and many suicidal events can be averted if help can be meted out at the right time. Yes, I as a psychiatrist I am willing to provide that help to the society, but I do need cooperation from all of you in helping and being there. Wish we can do that. Wish we all are a part of this movement. Thank you so much. Goodbye.